My Lords and members of the House of Commons, I am deeply grateful for the addresses of condolence by the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
5.6 million Britons just did something no government anticipated, and right now Downing Street has less than 72 hours to respond or risk collapse. As you're watching this, Britain is teetering on the brink of its greatest legitimacy crisis in a century. A sweeping movement is alive, fueled by discontent, fear, hope, and the powers that be are scrambling for answers. Before we show you the video footage, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let me take you back 10 days ago. It began as whispers, dissatisfaction with policy, hidden leaks, discontent among backbenchers. But then everything exploded. A new petition launched on the parliamentary website demanded an immediate national referendum, not on one issue, but a trust vote in government. The demand, re-mandate this administration or call fresh leadership elections. In just 12 hours, 200,000 signatures. In 24, it hit 500,000. By day 3, it topped 2 million. And instead of slowing, the numbers soared. 3 million, 4.7 million, now 5.6 million, and still climbing. That's nearly 8% of the UK's adult population demanding structural legitimacy and not policy tweaks, but political reset. This is not a grassroots meme. This is a groundswell exposing a deeper fracture. Citizens versus an elite they feel has lost contact. Inside Whitehall, the mood is frantic. The Prime Minister's team has been working around the clock. Message control, emergency memos, scenario planning. Leaked internal memos speak of containment zones, media lockdowns, even proposals for intelligence briefings to suppress rumours. The leadership is on its knees because they never expected to lose the moral ground so quickly. Public trust is collapsing. Recent polls show only 16% of Britons now say they have confidence in the current government's right to govern. That's lower than any point in recent history. Meanwhile, over 68% believe the system is broken, not broken for them, broken for everyone. This isn't partisan anger. This is existential disillusionment. What's different now is how this is streaming live. The #sign Reset Britain has been trending for 6 straight days. It's generated over 3 billion impressions on TikTok. Ordinary citizens, bus drivers, junior doctors, gig workers are posting raw videos of frustration, paying bills, seeing services collapse, feeling ignored. One teacher recorded herself in an empty classroom saying, "I'm tired of being told to trust while being strangled by austerity." That video hit 5 million views. Nurses, veterans, disabled citizens across generations are all broadcasting their stories. The movement has no single face. It's collective rage. And remarkably, the divide between political affiliations is eroding. Labour voters are marching beside Conservative holdouts. Reform supporters stand with Green activists. In remote towns, people who never showed up to protests are in the streets, and the message will no longer be governed by disconnected elites. The fallout is immediate. The pound plunged 3.5% overnight. Investment funds are pausing UK allocations. The FTSE 100 lost £120 billion in value in 2 trading days. That's not volatility. That's capital fleeing legitimacy risk. Business sentiment is tanking. The Confederation of British Industry warns of a 15% drop in investment if crisis continues. Multinational firms are holding back deals, shifting liquidity abroad. The Bank of England has convened emergency meetings. Sources confirm they fear a liquidity squeeze that could cascade into a banking crisis if confidence doesn't return soon. Then came the pressure on institutions. Parliament is now in open mutiny. Dozens of MPs from both sides are preparing a no-confidence motion, not just in the government, But in the entire system of leadership appointment, the Independent Ethics Commission is issuing scathing statements. Even the Speaker of the Commons is warning that if the crisis deepens, the only recourse might be invoking constitutional conventions that haven't been used in living memory. And the royal household, yes, it has been dragged in. For the first time in decades, protest banners appear not just outside Downing Street, but flung across royal palaces. The Crown serves the people, not parties. Red signs at Balmoral gates. Social media is reeling with video of activists at Windsor chanting, "Let the monarch stand with democracy or stand aside." On public approval trackers, King Charles has dipped below 48%, his lowest ever since accession. He now faces an impossible bind if he intervenes, urging dissolution of Parliament or new elections. Critics will scream of royal overreach, constitutional collapse, a breach of centuries of consensus. If he stays silent, letting a government with plummeting legitimacy cling to power, he risks becoming symbolic of elite betrayal. Constitutional experts are scrambling. Some argue the king does retain reserve powers to dismiss a government without confidence. Others say it's a path toward monarchy self-harm. The last time a monarch intervened directly was in the 1830s. We're in uncharted waters. Inside the palace, advisors are divided. Younger voices urge action. If the monarchy wants to survive in a digital age, neutrality when democracy fails is no longer viable. Traditionalists counter that even being seen as political is institutional suicide. One palace insider said, "You cannot stand above when the ground beneath you is collapsing." Another said, "One wrong signal and 1,000 years of tradition vanish overnight." Meanwhile, global eyes are upon this drama. The EU Commission issued a statement urging Britain to preserve democratic norms amid turmoil. Brussels diplomats spoke of potential trade consequences if stability isn't restored. NATO is quietly asking for briefings, as a second largest military power entering chaos would shock alliances. The US State Department expressed hope that resolution comes through democratic means, a diplomatic nudge that doubles as red line. Across Commonwealth nations, opinion leaders warn that UK instability could trigger ripple effects, weakening the very idea of parliamentary democracy. As the pressure cooker boils, a timeline emerges in Westminster. The no confidence motion is set for tomorrow evening. If passed, as it almost certainly will, the typical path is Prime Minister resigns, elections follow. But rumour is thick, this Prime Minister may refuse to resign. The justification? That conceding to mass petition pressure is precedent-setting. If that happens, we slide into constitutional war. Parliament, Executive and Crown locked in a triple bind with no clear resolution. Then Charles may have to act decisively, removing the PM, dissolving Parliament, or both. Cities are on the edge. London, Manchester, Leeds, all seeing daily demonstrations that grow in scale. But these are not protests. These are civil convocations, families, veterans, shift workers, retirees marching side by side. Some protesters hold pictures of their children. Others carry home eviction notices. The Metropolitan Police is pleading for reinforcements. Intelligence reports warn extremist groups may try to hijack peaceful gatherings, seeking to spark violence that accelerates crisis. One spark, one riot could shatter control. Now activists are calling for a day of national reset. Mass walkouts across the public sector, teachers, transport, civil service, healthcare, set for 48 hours from now. Analysts predict the disruption could cost the economy £20 billion overnight. The largest shock since 2008. And then there is no plan B. We have credible word that the palace has drafted multiple versions of a public address, some endorsing elections, some demanding institutions change, others simply preserving neutrality. None are public, but in closed doors, Charles is said to be consulting deeply with constitutional scholars, former PMS, legal titans. Names like Major, Blair, Butler are reportedly involved, but none of them have had to navigate this. This is no longer partisan drama. This is about whether Britain's entire system can survive a moment of extreme distrust, whether symbolic institutions still matter in the era of digital democracy, whether the bond between rulers and ruled can be restored, or whether it breaks forever. King Charles has trained for decades for this crown, but no training could prepare him for choosing between tradition and survival. His decision will shape not just his reign, but whether monarchy has any place in tomorrow's world, whether parliament and government can be rebuilt on new foundations, whether legitimacy itself can be reset without collapse. Britain stands at a turning point. The government is cornered, trust evaporating by the hour. Citizens are unified in demand for structural renewal, and the monarch is trapped between tradition and reinvention. Every institution is trembling. Every alliance is fragile. The world is watching. Markets, diplomats, citizens, history is watching. In the next 72 hours, choices will be forced, lines drawn, and authority remade or shattered. The shape of British democracy, the relevance of monarchy, the future of legitimacy itself all depend on what falls next. So here's what I want from you. What should Charles do? Should he intervene, dissolve Parliament, call for new elections? Should he stay strictly neutral, even as the system crumbles? Or is there a bold third path we aren't seeing yet? A constitutional reset that sustains both democracy and monarchy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want to catch every new twist, make sure you share this, comment below, and subscribe with alerts on. The next 72 hours could redefine Britain's future.